Every day it seems like Hollyweird is starting to wake up from the woke era. Things are turning around. The Michael biopic, the Nintendo universe, and don't forget Project Hail Mary and so much more. Godzilla, we're looking at you. But video games and that industry 14 times bigger than the box office. And so far, it's as woke as ever. But is change coming? Today, we'll see, are they turning the page in gaming? Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back yet again to the channel that continues to change hearts and minds simply by telling the truth every time and always with a capital T. As we try again to do so with the excellence you deserve, folks, swerve on down to that like button, click it, and stick it to the algorithms. All right, folks, we've been paying very close attention as Hollywood is starting to learn their lesson, maybe, sort of, kind of. Well, we'll see by the end of summer. But it looks like to us that Hollywood now knows that woke just doesn't work. I mean, they can love it, they can want it, it's not going to be devoured by the fans. Is that now happening for the gaming industry? To find out, we turn to Grums. That's Mark Kern, the man who led the way when it comes to the original World of Warcraft. He also is the producer on Diablo 2 and StarCraft. So he's kind of a big deal. I'd put him on the Mount Rushmore of game developers. And Grums says this: gamers voted, Ubisoft died. $1.3 billion euros in losses. Tough austerity measures imposed. Historic low in Ubisoft history. Will not return to profitability until 2027 or 2028. And Ubisoft will focus now on live service games. Of course, you all know that Ubisoft was so focused on woke, like that thing on the left. Yeah, we're talking about you. Ooh, that thing on the right. All of it. And they've just about lost in every way possible because... But there's a rift forming now, folks, in the gaming industry. People like Andy Cortez angry because woke stuff like mixtape just is not being accepted. But he's getting ratioed. It's almost as though we're watching deja vu all over again in gaming. He says, some Asmongold fans came into our YouTube chat because we like mixtape. I promise you, we don't care that you hate our content, LOL. If someone said, KF sucks, also I watch a rotting subhuman that's ugly as talk for hours a day. Dude good, LMAO, stay away from us, please. Reminds me of all the stuff we've seen from like Star Wars, where the folks who were making it said, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, nobody did. And then Asmongold shows up and says, if you tag me in a post like this, it lets me reply, by the way. I know when you make a post with limited replies, the intent is to create a safe space where no one can be mean to you, so I thought you should know. If you need any more Twitter or YouTube advice, feel free to ask. Owning him and getting 31,000 likes in a heck of a ratio. And who's been following all of this? Well, folks, your main man on the panel right now, Atreus, is right here, and he's been covering all of this with the woke stuff. I want to play this Andy Cortez guy, and then I'm going to go and find out what the heck is going on in gaming. First, though, here's the video.
You will see a surge in the player base for Concord because I'm going to rally everybody up together and say, do you want to get matched up against streamers who play it for 12 hours a day, or get matched up against the 12-year-olds who have better reaction times who watch the streamers that play for 12 hours a day? Do you want to get matched up against them in Call of Duty? Are you tired of getting slide canceled into? And are you tired of having the movement gods and the TTVers all over the place ruining your night? Come play Concord.
Come play Concord. Andreas, what we've been watching is the destruction of the gaming industry, following right along the heels, the Hollywood, economics. I want to go to you now. Is it starting to change as we watch people like this Andy guy who, they want you to play Dustboard, they want you to play Concord, they want you to play Star Wars Outlaws, and darn it, you won't do it. Are the studios now starting to learn what Hollywood already seems to be learning at this time?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
no. No, absolutely not. And I think it's for you. Did you say that the video game industry was 15 times bigger than
14 times bigger than the box office? Yep.
I think that has a lot to do with it. There's just a lot more money to go around and a lot of different hands in different pockets. It's not to say that it's not changing at all. Obviously, gamers have made it clear these past few years what they don't want to play or what they don't want to be involved with. But what the video game industry have obviously made it clear is that they have no problem with being covert about it. That's why we have this latest scandal with Slay the Spire 2. There was an indie video game that did like crazy numbers when it first came out, and everybody loved it. We talked positively about it. And then it was revealed a few months later that Anita Sarkeesian was actually in the credits of the game. That's because the video game industry has no problem being covert about whether you want to call it woke or political correctness or ideology, whatever it is you want to talk about. It's there, and I think gamers are going to work a lot. They're going to have to work a lot harder than moviegoers to communicate that they don't want this. Because the thing about it, a movie is pretty simple. You either go and watch it at the box office or you don't, right? And that tells Hollywood, who has a 2, 3, 4 year turnaround to decide what the next movie they're going to make is. It's a clear message. And that's why you'll hear Bob Iger come out and say stuff when he was employed at Disney. We got to focus on quality, not quantity. After hearing people talk for 2 years about, hey, we're sick of all the Disney Plus shows, right? But over in the video game industry, it's not the same, because the people who are the quote unquote stars of the industry are not actors, like superstar actors with different political ideologies. Say like what's the name of the guy that played Star-Lord? I forget his name. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, who's a superstar in the industry, but he's clearly a conservative, right? But he still has staying power. So if Chris Pratt comes in and say, I don't really want to do it that way because it's a little bit too left-leaning. Well, that's going at Blumhouse, that's going to have a say. Hell, at Warner Brothers, that's going to have a say. Okay, so Chris Pratt's not going to do it this way, but he obviously drives money. You don't have that in the video game industry. It's the stars or the developers, and that whoever has the talent and the amount of numbers and the most amount of money is going to have the pull. So you got a video game like Subnautica 2, where is this woke? You can determine that or not. But they make a video game that's a survival craft, where normally in those video games you're supposed to kill stuff, and they say, nah, we don't want to kill stuff because we don't like killing fish, and we just like you to be able to survive. Listen, you can do that. But if I don't play your game, then I don't play your game. And they don't have a problem with taking a loss. And what the video game industry has showed you the last few years is, hey, we don't have a problem taking a loss. We'll continue to take a loss because we believe in what we believe in, and we believe it will prevail at the end of the day.
Wiz, one of the things that we've noticed in gaming is that a lot of this stuff is subsidized by actual national governments, and sometimes even China, that want to propagandize this stuff into America to weaken maybe the society. Is that part of what is blocking the transformation? Because this is not economically feasible. There's no way for this to survive. Gamers in mass have rejected it, and yet it still continues to be produced. What's going on there, do you think?
Well, we look at this game like Mixtape, and this game is $20. It's on every system, and no one's buying it. We could see from the Steam numbers that no one is playing it, no one is buying it. Sure, it's on Game Pass, but that doesn't mean anything. This game is not making money. It's never going to make money. And the reality is that's not the point. The point of it is not to make money. And there are lots of these games that the entire point is to get engagement.
You track me here.
It is engagement metrics. And actually, because the governments and it's China, that's one angle of it. China is not involved with this one. This one actually tracks back to the Australian government. Why do these always track back to,
with Dustborn, it was Norway, and it's the EU behind Concord and all this stuff. And it's like, come on, how much can these octogenarians across the world really want to inject woke into America?
I mean, we've got, and it's not even just America; it's just the world. It's the Western world. They don't care if it's just the U.S. What they care about is evangelizing just one more person to their cause, and whether that be a political cause or an ideological cause or religious cause, that's it. Whatever the framing is you want to associate with that. And Pro, if you want to pull that clip up, let me cue it up a little bit. This Mixtape game that has been sweeping the internet. If we want to just backtrack this, I'll explain the scene here. This is the climactic, what I would say, final fight of the game. This girl is a degenerate, and the setup here is her father is a police officer, and the police officer caught her engaging in, drugs and drinking and not doing well in school. And so here we're seeing a scene where she's standing up to her dad after having set fire to a cabin in the woods. Her father arrives on the scene and says, well, this is what she says here. Actually, you kind of can't play it now that I realize it, because there is a very harsh swearing. But she's basically saying to her father, if you don't let me do what I want to do, I will continue to burn not only the forest down, but I'll burn everything down. I will become a problem for you, and I will become a problem for society. And that is what the protagonists of this game are. They're a problem, and they are self-inserts of the writers themselves. They've pretty much been on record confirming that. This is trying to Atreus' point. This is what's trying to co-opt gaming.
Is her name Tina Kaczynski? Is that what this one's going on here?
No, and but sadly, this isn't going away. To
I'm making a bad joke there, Wiz, about somebody who was apprehended by the FBI in the 90s, early 2000s for booming a lot of stuff and harming a lot of people. It seems like a lot of these developers for these studios, they actually admire that now, this very illegal thing. They seem to be violent anti-humanists, which I don't think I want my kids to aspire to be. So therefore, I don't think my kids should play these games. And it seems like the broader market agrees.
It's not only are they anti-humanists, which is a great way to put it, they're also too cowardly to ever do anything about making a change in their life or in society itself. These are people, these games are shower conversations for arguments that happened 30 years ago, and they're still not over it.
Have we seen any change in the major studios, though? Because, I know that, for example, Halo has just been destroyed by this crap. And Overwatch over at Blizzard was just about destroyed by this crap. Like, have the major studios at least learned anything yet? Is it just in the indies? Is it just in the small studios? Have the major guys learned anything?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about, because so one of the things that when we talked about this stuff is it isn't just a surface level, because in the film industry, you learn pretty quick, because most of the time those are contractors, right? Your cinematographer, your lighting guys, your costume designs. These are contractors that you're working with. They don't typically be on full time unless you're like really like you get an extended contract. In the video game industry, in these big studios, you're talking about people that's been working there for years. And when we say surface level, we're talking about the game itself, the art itself, whether or not that's woke. But skin deep is the idea that the industry has hired people, activists, who have come in and co-opted everything. You can't see that right away. Now, when you see layoffs, you assume that the people that are being laid off are these untalented activists, creators that have come in, when the movies, when the, say 2020, George Floyd, everybody's in the house, all that money came in and they're hiring all these people. You go back to the Weinstein effect didn't affect just the movie industry. It also affected video games, because now it's like, the breaking glass ceilings for women and stuff like that. When you hear layoffs, you assume that. But what we've come to learn is that, honestly, this mindset and ideology has affected so many people. We talked about Andy Cortez a minute ago. Andy Cortez gets ratioed on everything he posts on Twitter, but yet he's still there. And it tells you that they don't care. He posted something today. I forgot what it was. I can't recall exactly what it was, but I was pretty much like, dude, you just need to get off Twitter, because you're posting stuff and people that even like you are saying, this is a bad take. And so they're willing to beat their heads against the wall. And I think it's because they know video games is the largest entertainment medium in the world right now. And like he said with a mixtape, making money is not the point. If you can just convince one person, then you think you got something. So
that's a lot of money per person now, per capita, to get somebody to change their mind. That's a lot of investment.
Well, to Fake Wizard's point, mixtape was bankrolled by the daughter of one of the richest men in the world. If I'm not mistaken, the story goes that they crowdfunded that game, failed, and she came in and financially saved the game, along with some government grants from the Australian government. So when you have projects like that, where the developers can just kick back and sip on lattes from Starbucks instead of drinking Mountain Dew, like that one billionaire had said, then they don't really care. They don't have a problem with hiring a community manager that's willing to go to war with the entire gaming industry because we're all getting paid anyway, and the art is out there.
Well, let me ask you
That's
guys
what
this.
it was with. That's what it was with BlackRock, with everybody funding these movies, right? It's the exact same thing. They were making all these woke movies because they thought that they were infallible, but then I guess as movies have started to fail, now the money, it seems like it's just shifting over to gaming. That's the bigger audience anyway, and that's probably where we're going to get more traction for our dollar. Because putting it into Hollywood, people are bailing on Hollywood. And so it kind of makes sense from that standpoint. Let's just focus on video games. Let's give all of them our DEI, ESG money, because that's where the audience is. 14 times bigger, like you said, Pro.
There actually is one other kind of scary point I just want to make sure we hit on is, and it's something that Trey has touched on earlier. They are learning in the larger companies. So, Pro, you asked about like Halo. Is it just in the indie scene or is it in the larger gaming scene? They're getting sneakier in the larger gaming scene now. So they're marketing games as if they are for guys. They are for men. They do have masculine values. They do have humanist values. And then you buy this $70 game. You play it all the way to the end. You might even get to the credits. And then, we're going to rug pull you. Surprise. That was only one ending of two endings, and the second ending recontextualizes the whole game. You are human garbage. That you, the protagonist, the man you've been playing as, is a pile of crap. And of course, I'm talking about the Soros game, which just came out. That was a PlayStation exclusive for $70, and they rug pull you at the end, and it turns out, wow, you're a terrible man, and you get
it's the opposite of Metroid in the in the 80s, right? You get to the end and who is it? It's a horrible man. Okay, so let me ask you guys this then. Yeah. So, I'm friends with lots of gamers, and a lot of the kids in my family play video games, and so every time I'm around that kind of crowd, all they're talking about is Fortnite. They're talking about Pokemon. They're talking about Nintendo. They don't touch any of this stuff. And I just wonder, has this opened the door for the few that refuse to go into that area? Has it opened the doors for them to just absolutely be the giants in the industry?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why those three entities you just named are on the top. Nintendo, as a publisher and as a company, I have tremendous problems with, but the games that they produce are good. And that's for the most part, that's all they're doing. Their goal is to just make good games. And whether it be for kids or families or adults or nerds or anime fans, or it's like, that's their goal. Is Nintendo is like, we're going to make games and we're going to ship games. And everybody else can't quite figure that out because they see it as an art to be hijacked. And this art form is a place where your activism can thrive. And it's just getting worse, and it's getting dirty, secretive. It's almost to the point now where it is almost like a moral obligation for you to keep up and do the homework. And you almost need to know how the game ends before you buy it, because you don't know what they're going to sneak in on the other side of buying it.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, is that one group, Sweet Baby Inc. detected? Is that still up and running? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, there's still a thing, but like we were saying, they've just gotten more covert about it. The simple fact of the matter is they understand that they can't fight the internet. And I think one thing that they don't want us to know that they know is that they know that the more we talk, the more normies start to listen. For example, we talked about mixtape. I said once that we all know collectively, pick a community, any race, any religion whatsoever. If you take mixtape to their local barbershop, everybody's going to tell you to get the TF out of here with that BS. Nobody's playing this. Nobody's playing this. Nobody's thinking about this. Nobody can relate to this. There's not a single average American out here who has a daughter that could have set a house on fire and told their police officer of a father, you're not going to do anything about it or I'm going to burn this thing down. and not would have got their head knocked off. I know, you know, there's a joke amongst the black community that white folks don't discipline their kids to say, I'm telling you, the right white father is knocking his daughter. You burned down a house and you're going to tell me in front of all of my colleagues that I'm not going to do anything. Not only are you not going to college, not only are you not going out with your friends anymore, I might lock you in the basement. But that's much to do about nothing. But the point is that they're going to continue doing it. And the question is going to be, it's going to be a question of endurance. I think gamers are like, listen, we don't care about, like, who's going to complain about not having to spend money, right? We all have, like, we've had a study that's come out recently that has said people are playing older games. And the scary part about it is they're not categorizing what they mean by older games. Because a game 2 years ago is still an older game. If you got gifted a game from somebody in your audience that was $60 at the time that they gifted it to, and 2 years later, you're just now getting to it, that's an older game. That means we have more games to play than we have time at this point.
That's right.
You can come out and movie swap if you want to, but I have a Steam library that every time I look at it, I get stressed out and don't even want to play the game no more. I just don't.
But that's the brilliance of it too. Is like if you wait for the Steam sales, that older stuff you can pick up for pennies on the dollar. And the modding community too is allowing you to bring up to modern standards some of those old games so they don't look like old games. It's like the community does a lot of work for you.
And I'll tell you too, guys, I think with AI, and I know people have lots of opinions about it, all right? But just set that to the side for a minute. AI has already completely transformed the programming industry. Coding changed forever last October. It is nothing like what it was. If you're sitting there writing code right now, you're doing it wrong at this point. AI can do it for you. And what that means is I believe that this goose is already cooked. The floodgates are about to be opened. And do you love, RPGs, action RPGs? Do you love dungeon crawlers? Do you love a smorgasbord of everything you can imagine is about to be unlocked for you from content creators who say, I want to go back to what gaming was, and you're going to get it. And I really believe that this is the last from some of these blue-haired, purple-haired splats people who are being funded by octogenarians from Scandinavian countries and apparently from down under. And it's belly up right now for all of that effort. Within 2 or 3 years, I believe it's getting flushed. And I believe we're going to be playing the stuff that we want to. We're going back to Doom. We're going back to Street Fighter. We're going back to Civilization. We're going back to, SimCity, whatever you loved, whatever it is, folks, we're going back to playing the games that we enjoyed. They may be named something different. They're going to be made by different people. But I believe the treasure chest is about to be opened. Guys, final thoughts on that one. Should we end with optimism?
Well, the optimism is that making games is so accessible now that it doesn't really matter what the big boys are doing at this point. Because right now there's some goofball sitting in his drawers in his mom's basement right now, creating a masterpiece that you never heard of. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know where he's finding the time. I don't know what his diet is like. But when it comes out, it's going to be like, guys, I need you to understand. I have several indie developers right now with like 500 followers, 1,000 followers, 1,500 followers that are posting their game every day. And it looks like something that would have come from Activision a couple years ago. The stuff that you're expecting from Blizzard, the stuff that you're expecting from, just insert AAA idiots here. All right. People are creating games at a rapid pace. And keep in mind, you talked about AI just a minute ago. I don't know if y'all know, but Kingdom Come Deliverance is rumored. The third one is rumored to come out next year. Now, keep in mind, the second one just came out last year. If you don't think they're not using AI in that game, you're crazy.
Every game that comes out used AI from here on out. I'm just going to tell you, the artist can say whatever they want to say. Every game coming out from here on out was coded with AI. Every single game. And if they tell you otherwise, they're lying. And it's all PR spin. So all this stuff about cancel if it used AI. Every single game we'll use AI. Folks, it's time to bid you adieu, but we hope that you will help us anew, and that is, we're only asking you click that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, have you gone the way of thatparkplace.com? www.thatparkplace.com. It's the website that if you're not yet bookmarked to, well, you should be. A bastion of truth and knowledge when it comes to entertainment and everything that's going on. Go check it out today, folks. We would love to have you over there as well. All right, we are getting ready to head out, but do not fret, for we will put out 4 more videos tomorrow, so long as the good Lord allows. And we believe that probably, just might, happen. All right, until the next time we get to share time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.